Everyone, welcome to Stock Talk Thursday, where we're going to be looking at what is hot and what is not in the market. And the market has been doing a little bit of shifting, so we're going to talk about that as well. Should be an interesting one for you. Stick around to the end because I've got a big announcement coming. Some things we're going to be doing a little bit different in the future here, so you're not going to want to miss that. But for this one, go ahead and throw in your comments and questions. Love to see those. Love to interact with you as well. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to go ahead and see what has been going on in the overall market. So here we go. Market made a higher low and now has made a higher high as well. It's been pushing up today. It's been kind of interesting. Last time that we went up to this 50 EMA right in here, we went ahead and fell right back down. Actually, that was a pretty big fall. Ended up being about 500-point drop all in all right there. We came up to the 50 yesterday and the day before and actually punched through today with conviction. I mean, it's really punching through. Now, does that mean that the bear market is over? I wouldn't be so quick to say that. It might look like it if you're looking at just this line, but let's zoom out just a second here. Let's pop another line in here. What if we go from the high and we just draw a line right there? Okay, so this was a pretty decent rally that punched through the 50 EMA as well. You can see before it had 50 was resistance, had punched through and then came back down. Could we go all the way up there? I mean, we could. I don't know if we're going to make it all the way up there, but if we go all the way up there and then start to push down from there, it's still making lower highs. So I wouldn't, it's still going to be a lot would have to happen before we can say that this bear is completely over. And I don't think we're in that case yet, but that's what we're looking at right now. At least have a little bit of a short-term rally going. How high will it go? Still yet to see. But let's go ahead and take a look at what was hot last week and what was not last week. If you remember, we were looking at Boeing. Boeing was hot last week. And, but, it was sitting right underneath this line, right? I was like, it's been hot, but it'll be interesting to see what happens because we're right underneath this line right here. And then guess what happened? It broke through that downtrending resistance line. It's been riding the 5 EMA up. So Boeing at the moment, very hot. You might be wondering, what are those lines down at the bottom of this chart? These guys right here. Those are some paper trades that I put on with our students in Tradeway. We were just looking to see how to push the buttons and look at some different things there. So those are some paper trades that you might be seeing there as well. But Boeing looking hot still. Well, what was not hot last week? If you remember, we kind of had two of them. We're gonna jump with the first one here. Schlumberger was our not hot stock. Now, last week, the candle that you were seeing, because I had to do a recording last week, so you were seeing Wednesday evening. And the Wednesday candle was this one right here, kind of that gravestone doji looking candle right there. And I found it interesting when I looked back at the chart again later on and saw that this Thursday candle opened up right on the line. So, if we pull this out here to zoom out a little bit, you can see I'd thrown this uptrending support line on there just to see. And that line did hold to be true. So that always kind of makes me feel good when I'm like, wow, man, the pros, they use my line. I mean, they're, of course, looking at the same line as well. But there you go, right there, right on the line. So bounced up from there, starting to move down again a little bit. We got earnings coming up on tomorrow with Schlumberger. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there as well. And, we had a little surprise not hot stock last week because it just kind of happened to where we were looking at things. I was like, wait a second, I missed this chart. This one looks like it could be not hot. And so there you go. FCX was our not hot stock as well. It's been moving down quite a bit. A little bit of a bounce up, though. We'll have to see if it can punch through the 20 EMA earnings today, actually, on Freeport. So I have to see what happens there. All right, but let's take a look at what is happening now. What is hot now and what is not hot now? Okay, Netflix is actually going to be our hot stock. You might be thinking, I remember Netflix being the not hot stock. Well, it was the not hot stock several times. We look at the last year, that is ugly. Okay, we're well over, well, actually not well over, it was right at about $700 a share. Made its way all the way down to nearly $150 a share. Just straight up ugly. These drops on earnings were massive. Okay, I remember doing the episode where the Netflix was the not hot stock on this drop right here. That was huge. But as you can see, it kind of based a little bit, right? It formed a bit of a support level there, right around the $160 range. Zoom in a little bit again. And lately, what has happened? They had a good earnings report. And just last Thursday, honestly, we were looking at this candle and it opened up right around $160, $170 a share. And now it's up at $220 a share. Okay, so we're up almost 30% now just in the last week. So that's hot. Doesn't look like when you zoom out from the whole, perspective, the whole chart, but just zooming in on it and looking at the percentage move that has been made in the last week, Netflix is hot. Here's another reason why Netflix is hot. Look at where it is in relation to the 50 EMA. So it is above the 50 EMA 2 days now in a row. When's the last time that it was above the 50 EMA? Well, let's zoom out here. So there's the 50. That's my blue line. And the last time it was above was this day right here in November. So since November, it's been below the 50 EMA the entire time up until yesterday. So Netflix showing to be hot right now. So then there's another question. Well, where's it going to go? How high can it go? Let's take a look at this gap line right here. Gap lines tend to be important. Let's draw a line. So I'm going to draw a line right at the gap line, and it's kind of interesting to see where that coincides right now. It just happened to be this way, to where the 100 simple moving average is right about at that same gap line. That looks like it could be a realistic first target, if you will, for Netflix if it continues in the bullish direction. So right around this $245 range that coincides with the gap line, it's probably going to be running into the 100 simple as well. It could break through there, and try to fill the gap. Certainly could happen, but I would expect at least a little bit of resistance there, a little bit of a hold up there at the $245 level. So that is our hot stock for the week. Now let's take a look at our not hot stock for the week, and we're going to be going to Google. And first I want to show it to you this way right here. This is a crazy view. What is going on? It was up at $2,200 a share and then dropped down to $114. Wow. Is Google going out of business? No. Google had what is called a stock split. So that means that they are going to increase the number of shares available, but in the same way, reduce the price of those shares. And in this case, Google had a 20-to-1 stock split. So that means that if you owned 1 share of Google, now you own 20 shares. But each share is worth 1/20th of what it was before. So there you go. And it looks like this on the chart. Now, Charts by Treyway has a pretty neat little feature where we can just click the unadjusted button. You do that, and it just gets rid of the split so you can see it. Because, I mean, good luck drawing lines on this chart right here. I mean, what are you going to do with that? So we click the unadjusted button, and to actually adjust it for the split is what I'm trying to get at. And then it cleans up the chart a whole lot better right there, as if the split didn't happen. So now you are looking at more accurate data as to what the stock has really done, because the stock didn't really just drop from 2,200 to 114 in value. It's not like the company is worth 1/20th. So here we have it. But so you might think, well, how's this not hot stock then? Well, first I want to just make a point and maybe teach something if you weren't aware of that. But wanted to also look at this because it's been going down a little bit. Look at this. Back in that was February. up over $150 a share, now down to about $114 a share. I mean, that is 24% down since February. So it's not really been hot. You know, they missed earnings a little bit this last time around. Earnings is coming up again. Seems like every stock we're looking at right now is in earnings or about to be in earnings. It's just earnings season, happens every quarter. So, I mean, you can see this big rundown right here. And, you know, on this rundown, all the EMAs are inverted. Right now, it's been going sideways, maybe slightly up even. But we still got the 20 below the 50, which is below the 100 simple, below the 200 simple. So we still have some inversion of moving averages there, showing that Google is not hot right now. So there you go. There you have it. That is our hot stock and our not hot stock for the week. Let me go ahead and bring us back to the overall market here. Same thing. It hasn't really moved since we started this one. Now let's get to the announcement. All right. So going to be doing things a little bit different with Stock Talk Thursday. We're going to be shifting away from what is hot and what is not. And we're going to be going into more of a live trading atmosphere. This is going to be, if you're part of our program, our Trader Pro program, and you're familiar with the live trading hour, is going to be very similar to that. It's going to be live trading for the 15 minutes that we're together, and we're going to be looking at potential setups that are happening right then and there in the market. This is going to be an opportunity for you to bring trades forward. You might be asking, hey, David, what about Apple? Well, what are we thinking on Apple? Is that a good buy? And then I would go and like, well, let's go ahead and take a look. So we put in Apple, and we look at this thing like, wow, okay, you can see that Apple was downtrending along with the rest of the market. It's definitely made a bit of a rally here in the last few days, up quite a bit. We're well above the 5 EMA, kind of running into this line right here. So let's pull this chart back a little bit. So there's some history there on that line. You know, Apple, if you wanted to look at it to the upside, it'd be nice to see this thing pull back a little bit and then bounce at least off the 10, maybe the 20. You can see there are some nice solid bounces off the 20 EMA back there. But right now, it's not the best buy point. And one other thing you're going to need to watch out for, like I mentioned before on the other charts, is earnings right there. Okay, so that would be an example of what we could be looking at. And you might say, okay, well, how about Nike? I haven't even looked at the Nike chart, so this is going to be completely impromptu for me here. What about Nike? Ooh, okay, look at this. So Nike has been in a downtrend. You can see this practice trade I had done up here with some students beforehand. Well, Nike is kind of in this downtrend. It's right up at this resistance level. Now, if Nike can fall, you know, maybe if the market starts to come down again a little bit, and if Nike can fall down off of this resistance level, it might be in a pretty good position to go ahead and do a bearish trade, whether that be a put or a bear call, maybe a bear put. So there's some different options that you could look at there as well. And feel free to be specific with it. You might bring up a trade example, and you might be asking, hey, what about, I don't know, what about Ford? If I'm going to buy 100 shares of Ford, and this is my stop out, and this is my profit target, what are your thoughts? And then I'll go ahead and analyze it and work through it with you. So that is something that we are looking to start next week. So we're going to be moving away from what's hot and what is not, and we're going to be going into some live trading with you. But that means that I'm going to need your help, right? Because I don't want to just keep throwing random stocks out there at you. I want you actually, like, I don't know your name, but I see the what's listed here. Run the race, Mark. Awesome. So I love that you're commenting. So, you know, run the race, Mark. Love to hear, you know, what is your ticker that you're wanting to look at, you know, and so it's going to need your participation as well. But we love for this to be a very authentic time for about 15, maybe 20 minutes, just looking at the market, looking at some different trade possibilities that you guys are considering, and you're going to be able to have a coach help you out with it and just get some analyzation going. So that's what we're looking to do. I'm excited about it. We're going to start that next week. So it'll be the same time. It will be Stock Talk Thursday, but we're not going to be doing what's hot and what's not. We're going to be doing some live trading. That's going to wrap it up for this week. I'm excited to start this thing off next week. We'll see you guys then. Thank you.